So welcome everyone to the 29th session of Taittareeya Upanishad, which is a continuation of where we left off in the last class about the nature of Atman, and the deep discussion between Venkatji and Binduji is worth catching up on because there's a lot of clarifications I was able to get from that. But anyway, without delaying the beginning of this class, welcome everyone. I've posted the link for the Taittareeya Upanishad up here pinned on the top of the room. I've also pasted the link for all the 8 Upanishads from Gambhirananda's work, and also link to the Advaita Retold channel, where all the talks are cataloged in a series of lectures. But you can also find the replays in Clubhouse. But if you want to go back and look at the various talks in the Advaita Retold, Binduji has cataloged it very carefully, and so we can go back and forth. And as obviously Binduji has pointed out, as we go further, he's going to be citing from various Upanishads. So having that broad spectrum view might be very useful as you go further. So over to you, Binduji. Let's start the 29th class. Thank you.
Thank you, Prakash. Welcome all. Continuing the Taittareeya Upanishad, second chapter, sixth subsection, the Shashtama Anuvaka. Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsha Rishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashikritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Mukti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shri Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. The Shanti Mantram. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shashtamanuvaka. Asanne sa bhavati asad brahmeti vedcheta asti brahmeti ched santamenam tado viduriti tasyesha eva sharira atma yah purvasya athado anuprashnaha udavitanam lokam pretya kaschana gacchati aho vidvanamum lokam pretya kaschit samasnuta so akamayata bahusyam prajayeti so tatapo tapyata sa tatapat taptva idam sarvam asrjata yedidam kincha yat srishtva tadevanupravishat tadanupravishya satchatyaccha bhavat niruktam cha aniruktam cha nilayanam cha anilayanam cha vijnanam cha avijnanam cha satyam cha anrutam cha satyam abhavat yedidam kincha tat satyamitya chakshate tadapyesha sloko bhavati. So in this subsection, we are now explaining this. So akamayata bhusyam prajayeti. He desired, let me become many. So tatapo tapyata sa tatapat taptva idagam sarvam asrajata. After having tapas of jnanamaya, which is a tapas, idam sarvam asrajat. So he created, or he delivered, or he projected. Idam sarvam means this world of experiences. Yatidam kinja, whatever it is. Tat trishtva, having created that, tadeva anupravishat. He entered that, them. Tadanu pravishya, after having entered that, Satchatcha abhavat. Sat cha yach cha abhavat. Niruktam cha aniruktam cha. Nilayanam cha anilayanam cha. Vijnanam cha avijnanam cha. Satyam cha anrutam cha satyam abhavat. So, tadanu pravishya, after having created, is from where we are now going to discuss in this room. But before going that, it is worth looking back as to what is that tadanu pravishya after having entered. So, we have seen that in the last class, tat vrittistaniye tu iha punastat trishtva tadevanupravishad iti uchyate. So that is the most important aspect which we should always remember. Tat vrittistaniye. Tat vritti means, in the vritti means thoughts or notions or imagination or, ideation. Tad means this world, what is being, having this thing, or if you are taking Tad as Brahman, Tad vrittistaniye, in and through the thoughts, Tad means Brahman, tu iha, indeed here, puna sastrishtva tadevanu pravishad iduchyate. So, punaha means again, tatrishtva, having created, tadeva anupravishad, it entered. Vritti generally means what is happening in the mental nature or in the mind and the intellect. So, here the seventh vibhakti is being used, or seventh conjugation is being used to indicate as in the thoughts or in the mental modifications or intellectual modifications as thoughts, feelings, emotions, etc., etc. As what we call it as knowing or experiencing. This Tad Brahman to Iha had now as what? This world of experiences. So Brahman is now available to us in our experiences, feelings, thoughts, emotions, etc. Tad eva idam akashadi karanam karyam srishtva. That means tad eva, that Brahman alone or indeed, idam means in the form of whatever we call it as this, other than us, everything we call it as this. But here when we take idam jagat, so which includes us also. Us means not what we should be knowing as us, but what we think as what we are. I am the body, or I am the person, I am the adjectives with the old, young, fat, lean, white, black, all those things is part of the Jagat. So, Akashadi Karanam, for it is that Tad, that Brahman itself is the cause for Akashadi Karanam. For Akasha means tasmad etasmat atmana akasha sambhuta. We heard that. From Atma, the Akasha was born. So here Akashadi means starting with Akasha, one becomes the cause for the other. So Atma is the cause for the Akasha, which is the karyam or the effect. Akashat Vayu means Akasha becomes the karanam and Vayu becomes the effect, like that. Akashadi karanam karyam srishtva, having created the effect from the karanam. Tadanu pravishtam iva. As if iva means that this word iva is a very important word which Advaitins use a lot for explaining, because for them there is only one truth, Brahman or Atman. That is the only reality and only that exists. Whatever other than that is there, that is called mithya. To indicate mithya, the word iva is being used, as if. Iva means like or as if. Tadanu pravishtam iva. Tad anupravishtam iva. Tad means Brahman. Anupravishtam means entered, having the one who has been entered, who has entered, as if entered into the karyam. From the cause as if it has entered the effect. The mud pot is the effect. The lump of mud is the cause for it. So the mud pot is now entered with the properties of mud which is there in the lump of mud. So it is as if it has entered the pot. It is only up to that, only we have to take the example. But it is not applicable in the case of Brahman. But to drive the idea, either this or the gold and the ornaments or the water and the waves, all these examples can be used for having entered. So as if entered means, that is where we have to look at it. Did the mud enter the pot? To enter something should be available earlier. The pot without the mud should have been available earlier to enter it and become a mud pot. But that is not possible. We know that. Therefore, we have the iva, as if entered, has to be understood very clearly that it is the pot of mud is nothing but the lump of mud. But it appears to have entered. Same way, the water of the ocean as if has entered the waves. The waves are nothing but water. The water of the ocean and the water of the waves are not different. There is no difference, therefore ananyatvam. There is no separation there. But it will appear as if the waves have been inundated or now become filled with the water of the ocean. So that way, when we look at it, we will find that this word iva has a relevance there. So, tadanu pravishtam iva andarguhayam. The word andarguhayam means buddhau, in the andakarana. Drishtri, shrotra, mantra, vijñātir ityevam visheshavat upalabhyate. The word visheshavat upalabhyate means with the qualifications. Vishesha means qualification or adjective or description. What means as if the qualifications are the separations which is being created, and we call it as the seer, the hearer, the mentor, the knower, like that. Iti eva means in this form, we categorize them. Actually speaking, it is the same Atma which is now available in the buddhi or in the antakarana or the inner instrument as the seer, hearer, the mentor and the knower, etc. Sa eva tatsya praveshaha. This itself, this alone is the entering of Brahman into the world. Tasmad asti tat karanam Brahma. Tasmad, therefore, asti tat karanam Brahma. In what way we know that Brahma is present in everything? In the asti. We call it as Brahma asti, Atma asti, Akasha asti, Vayu asti. Like that, everything is asti, 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 asti. Asti means is there, existence. When we say is there, means it is a usage to show that it is existing. So, tat karanam Brahma. So, everything which we call it as is there, is because this astitvam or the nature of existence is present in every iota. every atom to the atmosphere or anything which is, we can consider that. Ataha astitvad asti ityeva upalabdhavyam tat. Tat means that Brahman, upalabdhavyam, is to be accepted or acknowledged as asti eva, existence as existence alone. Astitvad, because there is, everything has got this astitvam or existence in them. Therefore, the astitvam or the nature of existence present in everything is what is the nature in which Brahman or Atman is present in everything. Not in the form of names and forms. Names and forms are also asti. Nam, this, there is a name, there is a form. So when I say there is a name, there is a form, the isness is there in the name and the form also. But when we use it in our transactional world, we call it as the name and form as a distinguishing factor of something as separately available. So can anyone take out the existence out of the name and form and show this is name and form, this is existence? No, that is not possible. Because without existing, you cannot even mention anything or you cannot have any transaction of anything else. That is what is being explained in the following one, which is being that tadanu pravishya satyattacha bhavat. Now, that is how we have to go further. How do we identify this existence in the world? So the world is, the normal blame on Advaitin is that Advaitin says Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. The Brahman is alone the truth and the world is Mithya or unreal. Here you will find that the world is unreal if you are only using the name and form and not acknowledging the existential nature of everything. Therefore, if you say that Brahma Satyam, Jagat Satyam, then you are acknowledging that the existence, the world is real. Advaita never says the world is unreal. If you say the world is only names and forms, then we call it as unreal. But if you include that the world is name and form, is present in the world itself, then you have to say that the world is Satyam. So that is the way in which we have to understand. That is being now explained that tat karyam anupravishya kim satya murtam yaccha amurtam abhavat. So what is asking? Karyam anupravishya, tat karyam anupravishya. That having entered the karyam means the effects. Anupravishya. Kim, what happened? Satya means murtam. Murtam means materialized objects. That, such, sat and tyat. Sat, tyat. These are the two words. Sat means murtam. Tyat means amurtam. Amurtam means what is not materialized, which is not tangible in the form of murta dravyas, like, the material objects which we have it. Abhavat means became. It became both matter and non-matter. So the non-matter is it is like the sky. Even though it is a matter, it is not matter like fire or water or earth, or the air. So there is murta dravya and amurta dravya, which is being mentioned as sat cha, tyat cha, murtam cha, amurtam cha abhavat. Murta murtau hi avyakritam nama rupe atmaste andargatena atmana vyakriyate murta murta shabda vache. Now, murta amurta, he avyakrita nama rupe. Avyakrita nama rupe means before the experience of names and forms. Avyakrita nama rupe, we can only think that where can we identify the avyakrita nama rupa? In our deep sleep. In the deep sleep, there is no names and forms of any nature. So, murtam amurtam, he, this matter and non-matter. He means indeed. Avyakrita nama rupe means in the state of sushupti. Atmaste, by residing in the Atman itself. Andargadena Atmana, having, dissolved in the Atman at the time of the deep sleep. Vyakriyate, which later becomes the world of waking or the world of the dream and everything in the world of waking and the world of dream. Murta Shabda Vachye, by becoming the words of matter and non-matter. So, in the matter means we can include all the waking world. Amurta means all the dream world is in the Amurta state. So, from the deep sleep, both the waking and the dream is being Vyakriyate means produced or appears from Atma or from the state when in the deep sleep. Te Atmana tu apravibhakta desha kale iti kritva Atma te abhavat ityuchyate. Te means everything is at the Murtam and Amurtam. All the world of waking and all the world of dream. Atmana tu apravibhakta desha kale iti kritva Atma te abhavat. Apravibhakta desha kale means, pravibhaktam means clear, distinction between desha kala means space and time. Apravibhakta means where there is no differentiation between the space and time. Where can we have a state where we don't have differentiation between the waking and dream? That is only in the deep sleep. So, Atmana tu Atma te abhavat. So, what comes out from mud as products, Karanam, Karye. So, what is that? Gold, ornament, water, ocean and waves. All these places we know that the Karana Vyatirekena Karyam Nasti. Without the cause, there is no separate Karyam or effect which is other than the cause. The cause itself is seen in the effect. Same way, whatever comes from Atma without the time and space as definers or definitions, when the time and space becomes one set, we call it as Murta Dravyas, which is the waking world. When it is in a different, intangible nature, if it becomes Amurta Dravya, we call it as, and that is the deep sleep, dream world. So, both the waking and the dream, Atma Abhavat. It is the Atma itself, Te Abhavat, becomes every item in the waking and in the dream. Kimcha, because Niruktam cha, Aniruktam cha. Now, the words used in the Upanishad is being defined by Adi Shankara here. Niruktam cha, Aniruktam cha. These are the two sets of opposite. What is Niruktam? Nama Nishkritya Samana Asamana Jatiyebhyaha Deshakala Visishtataya Idam Tat Ityuktam. So, Niruktam nama means what is called as niruktam is nishkritya by nishkarsha. Nishkarsha means defining. Samana asamana jatiya. Samana means of the same nature. Asamana means different. Jatiyebhya. For example, cow with another cow is called samana jati. Whereas a cow and a horse is asamana jati, means not belonging to the same jati, means category. So samana asamana jati bhya means from the similar group or dissimilar group. Plus desha kala visishtataya. By defining desha and kala, that means space and time, what not only they are being categorized in the similarity and dissimilarity, but their location and time also makes them what is present here is what is not present there, what is present now is not present then. Like that, when we make a differentiation, means we are covering the entire experience of the world. Idam tat means idam jagat tadituktam is now called niruktam cha, what is called the niruktam. And aniruktam is tad viparitam, the opposite of what? There is no samana asamana jatibhya, no desha kala vishishtata. So both the way in which we categorize objects by space, time and the qualification in the world of waking and in the dream, and the state where it is not being used for differentiation and the time and space, where the desha and kala is also not being seen. So that is coming to Sushupti. So what happens is that it is the Sushupti avastha where there is no differentiation, which is present even during waking and dream, so that there is no differentiation. The same Atma is present in the waking and the dream as the world of objects, as the waker and as a dreamer, and where all these differentiations merge together and the non-differentiation is there. The same Atma is present as I am in my deep sleep. But only thing is that I cannot differentiate it or explain it in by words. So there is way in which it is to be understood. So tad viparitam. Nirukta anirukte api murta murtayor eva visheshanaha. Whether it is the nirukta or anirukta means where there is a definite definition in which way we can categorize them, define them, or dictate it as a separate entity, or if we do not able to do that, api murta murtayor eva, it is what is material matter and non-matter, in the sense that what is being experienced in our deep sleep is a non-matter. Murtayor eva visheshana. It is the adjectives used for these ones, but adjectives are not the matter which is being qualified. The qualifier or the one which is getting qualified is nothing but Atma, but you are using a name for it, you are calling it with a shape for it, a name and shape, plus desha kala, the time and space, samana asamana jatibhya, like the categorization which we do it. All these things are all the adjectives to the one and only one, which is the Atma, in the form of existence, asti. So this asti is present as in the deep sleep, as well as in the waking, as well as in the dream. But we feel that by doing the categorization and the adjectives for these things and time and space, we feel the experiences are different. But even while having the experiences which are appearing to be different, that is by pravibhaktam iva, that word iva, as if it is separate. We are calling them as separate. and transacting with it, but in the what is we are transacting is with the existence. The pot is an existence. If there is no existence, we cannot do any transaction with the pot, nor with the gold, nor with the water, nor with the human beings, nor with animals, nothing. All transactions are possible and taking place only due to they exist in Atma, as Atma, in Atma. But because we call it as Visheshanam, as adjectives to categorize them, we feel that we are dealing with separate things. Actually, we are not dealing with separate things. We are not transacting with separate things. Every transaction, every experience, every consumption, every purging, everything is nothing. What we are doing is Atma. There is nothing other. Neha nanasti kinchana. There is nothing other than that. Yada sat yat cha pratyaksha parokshe tada nilayanam cha anilayanam cha. In the sat and yat, murta and amurta, there is something called pratyaksha and paroksha. That is, pratyaksha means what is perceivable by sense organs and mind. It's all called pratyaksha. Paroksha means what is not possible for the mind and the sense organs to grasp, which is called the murta and amurta, or in the Upanishadic term, sat and tyat. Same way, teta, nilayanam cha, anilayanam cha. Nilayanam, needam, ashrayaha, murtasya eva dharmaha. Nilayanam, the other Sanskrit word for nilayanam is needam, means ashraya. The dependency or the feeling of dependency of existence. Actually, the object is dependent on existence for its own existence. But we feel that because it has got a name and form, the existence is depending upon the name and form, which is not correct thing. That is why it says that murtasya eva dharmaha. So the matter alone is the one which is having the ashraya, but the matter is depending upon existence for its own essence. Now we call it as by ashraya or on the name and form. Anilayanam tad viparitam. Anilayanam means no nirashraya, without ashraya. Amurtasya eva dharmaha. That is, we cannot transact with the world of dream. So, amurtasya eva, that anilayanam. So, there is no ashraya with which we can transact with the dream world. That's asya dharmaha. Yad nirukta anilayanani amurta dharmatve api vyakruta vishayani eva sarga uttarakala bhava shravanat kala bhava shravanat sarga uttarakala bhava shravanat. Sarga uttarakala bhava shravanat means kala bhava shravanat. Sarga uttarakala means after having done the creation or the appearance of the sarga means the creation. Uttarakala means having after the creation. Bhava shravanat. So what is there? Nirukta nilayanani amurta dharmatve api. Even though, that is the most important there. Amurta dharmatve api vyakrita vishayani eva. They are amurta dravyam. Amurta dravyam means amurta dharmatve. That is the dharmatvam of Atma in the deep sleep. Before the murta bhava comes. So Akasha is a murta bhava, or the Deshakala is the murta bhava. So that is all coming to Sarga Uttarakala after having the creation. But that is why Nirukta Nilayanani means the Murta and Ashraya is on the Amurta Vyakrita Ani Eva Etani. So this is what is called The dependency is on the amurta dravya. Yadyadi pranadigam pranadyani aniruktam tadeva anilayanam cha. Yad iti pranadi aniruktam tadeva anilayanam cha. Prana etc. is not tangible, but the Pancha Pranas. What we know is air. Air is not prana. Air is only a breathing. That is what is going in and coming out. But what is prana? Prana, apana, samana, vyana, udana. So that is what is called aniruktam and anilayanam. It is in that is what is to be here is talking about what are the examples of aniruktam anilayanam. Ato visheshanani amurtasya vrakrita vishayani eva etani. Avyakrita vishayanyeva etani. So these are the adjectives of amurtas, pranadhyani. Now he is coming to Vijnanam. Vijnanam means Chetanam. Avijnanam tadrehidam acetanam. So Vijnanam cha avijnanam cha means Chetanam, Chetana rehitam. These are the two things which he is referring to. What is the achetana rehitam? Pashanadi, like the rocks, etc. So Chetana Vastu is all living beings. Achetana Vastu is like the rocks. So he is now giving examples of each one of them. Satyam cha vyavahara vishayam adhikarat na paramartha satyam. Now Satyam cha vyavahara vishayam. Now here is the word which is most likely to get confused. Satyam cha anurtam cha. So we also know that Satyam Jnanam Anandam Brahma. So what is the difference between the Satyam here, which is Sargo Uttarakala Bhava? What is being used, the Satyam in the transactional world, that is not to be confused with the Paramartha Satyam. To make it very clear, he says that Satyam cha Vyavahara Vishayam here, Adhigarat, Nata na Paramartha Satyam. Ekameva hi Paramartha Satyam Brahma. That Brahma is a Paramartha Satyam, is only one and only one. That is not the Satyam what is being referred here. Here is the one Satyam which is Vyavahara Vishayam. How do we know that? Iha punaha Vyavahara Vishayam Apeshchikam Satyam. So Iha means in this context, again, Vyavahara Vishayam Apeshchikam. Apeshchikam means dependent on the transactional objects. That is what is the Satyam referring here. Whatever is transactable becomes Satyam, and what is non-transactable becomes Anartham. Mrigatrishnika diva Anrata apekshaya utagadi Satyam uchyate. Like the water in the mirage is Anartham, is non-transactable. You cannot drink or you cannot bathe or you cannot use any transaction with the water of the mirage. Utagadi means the real water. So the real water is Satyam and the water of the mirage is Anratam. Satyam cha Anratam. So that is the word. Anratam cha tad viparitam. So there is a viparitam for that. What is non-transactable. Kim punaha etat sarvam abhavat. Kim punaha means what else? What is that? What is being referred here? So etat sarvam abhavat. Etat sarvam abhavat means tatra satyam paramartha satyam. That word we have to take it. Etat sarvam abhavat. This became everything means there we have to take it as paramartha satyam. Not the vyavaharika satyam. Kim punastat, what is again that? Brahma. That paramartha satyam is the one which is what is Brahma, and that is what is become everything in the world. Satyam cha Anrutam. Both are that thing. Brahman only. in that, because we have a experience of non-existence in the mirage water, but we are confusing that to be water is the reason why we are thinking it is anartham. So anartham, the real water is satyam, but both anartham, the mirage and the water, is appearance also has got existence. So that existence is nothing but the nature of Brahman. Whereas the water, which is a transactional satyam, it's a transactional reality, but that is also Brahman only. Kim punastat Brahma satyat jnanam anandam Brahma iti prakritattva. Because the satyam, jnanam and anantam is the definition for Brahma, and that is the prakritam, means nature of Brahman. Therefore, we cannot but have the feeling that reality even in the world. This is exactly why the Jagat is a Satyam feeling we are getting, because it is Brahman which is in appearing as the Jagat. But when we are transacting, we are forgetting about the Satyam and the Paramartha Satyam and the Astitvam in the objects by name and form, and we transact in the name and form. For us, the name and forms become the reality, not the existence of them. Because the name and form cannot exist on a non-existent one. Suppose if there is a barren woman's son, now somebody says that he is the father for a son. That son cannot come because the father itself is non-existent. So the non-existent father cannot give birth to a existent son. Same way, if I say there is a flower of the sky, there is no flower which can grow in the sky, or the horns of a horse or a hare. There is no existence of them. So, non-existent things are having name and form in the mind because we can imagine it. But in reality, it is non-existent. So, there, you cannot have an existence in the reality. Even shunyata, what we call it as the absence of everything, that absence is defined as absence of things which are not present. By independently, there is nothing called absence or the shunyata. Shunyata is absence of sarvam. Then you get shunyata. But shunyata cannot exist without the reference to the sarvam. So if I say the pot is not there, yes, I can say the pot is not there, is a shunyata. But that shunyata of the pot is dependent upon the pot which was existing either here or elsewhere, or which was existing in a different time and space. Something which is positive in the existence only can indicate the absence of something. So even the shunyata or absolute nihilism, or what the talk about the shunyata, is in fact is dependent on the existence of the world. The whole world, when it is not being existed, it is nothing but the sushupti avastha. And that sushupti avastha, we knew that it is nothing but Brahman or Atman itself, which has become the world of waking and the world of dream. So that is why we need to understand that Satyajnanam Anandam Brahma iti prakritattvat. Yasmat Satya Adikam Murta Amurta Dharma Jatam Yat Kincham Idam Sarvam Vishishtam Vikara Jatam Ekam Eva Sat Shabdavachyam Brahma Apavat. Now he is defining that how the Brahma is by now is being mentioned as has become everything. Yasmat, from which Satyat, Satyatyat, Adikam means all of them, Murta, Amurta, Dharma Jatam, of having the Dharma or the qualifying or the nature of Murta and Amurta, means matter and non-matter. Yet, Chincha Idam, whatever it is called the Idam, means Sarvam, the entire world of experience, matter, non-matter, truth, and imagination, everything, Sarvam Vishishtam, everything is defined by a specific definition. Vikara Jatam Ekameva. It is Vikaram means modification, or born out of the modification, Ekameva, Sat Shabdavachyam. There is only one Sat, which is the Paramartha Sat, is the Brahman. That, the modification of that, as if it has become, because the defining nature of Sarva Vishishtam means it is the definitions which are making it separate, as if modified via as Murta and Amurta and, Nilayanam, Anilayanam, Vijnanam, Avijnanam, Satyam, Anurtam. All those things are the Vikara Jatam. All of them are coming from Ekameva Sat Shabda Vachyam. And that is nothing but Brahma. Brahma eva abhavat. This Brahma has become now everything. Not only that, tat vyatirekena abhavat nama rupa vikarasya. What is that? Tat vyatirekena. Without that, without Brahman, abhavat, in the absence of Brahman, nama rupa vikarasya. All this nama rupa vikara, means in the name and form, do not stand to exist or experience or available for experience. Because if Brahman is not there, means Astitvam is not there, existence is not there in the form of Nama Rupa, that is what is called Tad Vyatirekena Abhavat, the absence of that Satyam or the existence. Nama Rupa Vikarasya. If Nama Rupa Vikara cannot exist or stand by itself, Tasmat Tad Brahma Satyamitya Chakshade Brahmavidaha. Brahmavidaha means those who have known Brahman. Brahmavit, Brahmavidaha means the one who knows Brahman or one who has known Brahman. What does they say? Tasmat Tad Brahma Satyamitya Chakshade. Achakshade means aha, or they call it as Satyam. Ones who know call it as Satyam means they see the Satyam of Brahman in every Nama Rupa. Who is a Brahmavit is indirectly defined here. He is such a person who, through and through of the name and form, space and time, forms and no forms, names and no names, all those things he is seeing only existence. On existence, the Nama, Rupa, Murta, Amurta, Satyam, Anurtam, all those things are Visheshanas or the definitions or adjectives which is used for the purpose of transaction. But even when we are transacting nothing but with Brahman only. We are Brahman, we are transacting with Brahman, and everything appears to be a transaction because we are segregating them with the Visheshana of Nama Rupa. When one who can see that through and through the Nama Rupa, the Astitvam or through the name and form, the existence of everything, for such a person, he doesn't see other than existence everywhere. He doesn't hear anything other than existence. He doesn't think anything other than existence. All he sees is existence, which is the prakritam of Brahman, of the nature of Brahman. So such a person is called Brahmavit. He is called Brahmavitaha. Asti nasti itya anuprashnaha prakritaha tat tasya prativachanam prativachana vishaye etaduktam atma akamayata bohusyamiti. So earlier there was a question of asti nasti. There was a prashna. There was a question. Is it there or is it not there? That question was asked earlier. So why it was the thing prakritaha in that context? Tasya prativachana vishaye etamuktam. To answer that, the Upanishad itself is saying that so akamayata bahusyam prajayeti. This Atma akamayata desired bahusyam iti. May I become many is the desire or which is being mentioned by the Upanishad. Sa yada kamam cha akashadi karyam satyat adi lakshanam srishtva tadanu pravishya pasyan shrunvan manvano vijanan bahu abhavat. So sat yada kamam, as he desired, according to his own will, akashadi karyam, he became the effect like the akasha, vayu, agni, apaha, prithvi, etc. Karyastam. Karyastam means embedded in the effect or being present in the effect. When the akashadi karanam karyastam. So akashadi karanam, for the karanam, for even for the akasha, the Brahman, tat. When it became akasha, akasham asti, there is sky. There is the sky. When we say there is the atmosphere, when we say that, in that satya, sat and tat adi lakshanam, that is from the, if you take from akasha to the, from the atmosphere to the atom, when we take the whole spectrum of names and forms, it is nothing but sat and tyad, that is murta and amurta, adi lakshanam. All these adjectives which we have been using it, sarshtua, having created, tadanu pravishya, having entered them as existence, pasyan shrunvan manvan vijanan, that is pasyan means one who sees, shrunvan means one who hears, manvanan means one who mentation, vijanan one who is thinking about it, bahu abhavat, bahu means multiplied. He multiplied himself into many. Tasmat tadeva idam akashadi karanam karyastam parame vyoman hridaya guhayam nihitam. So tasmat, therefore, tad eva idam, that alone is this. See how he is nailing it. That alone is this. Tad eva idam akashadi karanam, the cause for akashadi, all the effects, there is only one cause for it. Atma, tasmat etasmat atmana akasha sambhutaha. The one to appear is akasha. Therefore, akashadi karyam. Akashadi karanam. Akashadehe karanam is akashadi karanam. Karyastam, embedded in each time when an effect is appearing as separated from the cause, that is called karyastam, and embedded in that. Parame vyoman, in the param akasha, or in the hridaya guha, in the heart, the space of the heart, nihitam, hidden in the heart. How did it appear? Tat pratyaya avabhasa visheshanaha upalabhyamanam asti ityevam vijaniyat iti uktam bhavati. Asti iti evam, in the form of existence alone, vijaniyat, it should be understood as that is the Brahman which we have to see in everything. Iti uktam bhavati. This is what is being told by the Upanishad. What? How? Tat pratyaya. In the word tat, avabhasamana. There is a experience when we say tat, means that. The moment we use the word that may have a name and form and qualifications and everything. Before that, the very word that has an avabhasa, means there is a realization or a expression. Visheshanaha, in the form of an adjective, what is that? Asti is existence which is being present. Upalabhyamanam, that is what is coming for our grasping. That is what is giving the experience. It is not the name and form what is giving this experience. It is not the time and space which is giving experience. All of them are giving the word tat, means the very word tat, that means that. That is the word. The moment you use the word that, an experience comes irrespective whether you know it or you are knowing it for the first time. An experience, ubalabhyamanaha, visheshanaha, avabhasaha. That experience which is now uniquely identified on one accepting the experience, or one to the one who is accepting the experience. This, the word that, is giving rise to a existence as a reality. Asti iti evam. Is vijaniyat. That is the way we know it. Iti uktam bhavati. This is what is the logical understanding which is in. Tat eta sanarte brahmana ukte esha sloko mantra bhavati. That, when we say that, san innarte, san etasmin arte, tat etasmin arte. In that understand, and that word tat, what is happening? Brahmanaha, it is the nature, it is the Brahman itself is what is being, is ukta, is being told. So whenever we use the word that, we are using that for Brahman present in anything that is being mentioned as that. We cannot utter a word without an existence of a object, whether it is murta or amurta, whether it is physically matter or non-matter, like what is in a dream, but not like a barren woman's son, where we cannot say that. There is no real existence. Asti, we don't experience asti, or the existence, we don't experience it. But even in the dream, the world, the experience of existence is present when we are experiencing it. So all the experiences, whenever there is experience, a real experience is happening, that reality or that satyam is nothing but the satyam of Brahman. Esha slogo mantra bhavati. Now this is being explained in the following mantra, which is coming in the 7th anuvaka. Yada purveshu annamaya-dhyatma prakashaka panchaswapi evam sarvantaram atma asti astitva prakashakaha api mantra karya dwarena bhavati. Yada purveshu annamaya-dhyatma prakashaka. We have now very familiar with annamayadi. Anna, from atmana akasha, akashad vayu, vayu ragni, agnerapaha, prithvi, prithvi or aushadaya, aushadevyo annat purushaha. So now that annamaya dadi, annamaya Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. So we know that Panchaswabi, on all the 5 sheets, we have seen that Sarvandara Atma Asti, Astitvam. In this Atma, which is Sarvandaraha, it is present in everything where there is an experience. That experience is from Atma. Prakashaka, that is the one which is giving rise to the experience. Every experience is because of Atma. Mantra karya dwarena bhavati. It is being explained in the following mantra in the 7th section, which we will take it in the Friday's class. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanam Bhunattu Sahavidyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you. Dhanyavadaha. The hand raising is on. Those who have questions can come.
Yes, thank you, Binduji. Hand raising is
I
open.
can't see. No, yeah. Namaste Prakash.
Namaste.
There was some glitch in the app. I couldn't see Prakash in the moderator.
Yeah, I
That's
noticed.
why I made the announcement.
Yeah, I noticed the same glitch.
Okay.
Welcome, Vikkaji.
Namaste
Hari Om,
Venkat.
Hari Om, Binduji. Hari Om, Binduji. This is going into a level more deeper. Just to get a clarity on this,
Right.
Murta, Amurta, Vyakruta, Vyakruta. So there is a difference here. Murta, Amurta, it can be compared with waking, and waking, clear identification of objects of the waking. Amurta means, vivid dreams. You cannot potentially name things, it's quite possible.
Right.
Is vivid dream to a waking world, that is a fair comparison between Murta, Amurta?
No, Murta, Amurta. Murta means where it is to differentiate between waking, where we have a feeling that all these things are real, perceivable, touchable, tasteable, etc. But when we compare about our dream, vivid dream or lucid dream or, dream which we don't remember, the experiences of dream is amurta. I mean, there is no matter which we can call it as available matter, but it is giving rise to experience. It was there in the dream. So when I say it was there, I am calling the astitvam or the existence of that in my dream. But I cannot call it as similar to what I have existence in the waking. So to differentiate between the Murta and Amurta is to consider between these two, were tangible and intangible.
Okay. I think that's a fair example, Binduji. Now, can we extend that to Akasha and, the space and the cloud? Space is Amurta, cloud is Murta.
No. If you are talking from the waker's point of view, Akasha is also Murta, cloud is also Murta. Why Akasha is Murta means matter? Because we transact in the Akasha by making, houses, or we traveling in the air. All those things are possible unless it is a Murta Dravya, we cannot transact through that. So the transaction which is being real in the waking world is considered as a Murta.
Okay, Binduji. I think that's a very, very good clarity on Murta, Amurta. Now, can we extend that to Vyakruta Avyakruta? Causal to the manifested. Like,
Yes.
deep sleep, it subsided. And waking up, you recollect your name. Oh, I'm awake. I just had a sleep. That recollection happens. What was buried as your own personality, Vyakruta, now become Vyakruta upon waking up. Is that right?
Yes.
Right.
The Avyakrita is the
Okay.
deep sleep, and Vyakrita is waking and dream.
Okay. Now I'm getting into now just to get to the Nirukta, Anirukta. Nirukta is all that classification, categorization, etc. All that falls into Nirukta.
Yes.
Anirukta is that which is, Viparita. That is, you cannot categorize.
Yes.
So that is Anirukta. Okay, now this I get it. Now this is a very nice that Nilanam Needam Ashraya Amurta Seva Dharmaha Anilayanam Tadvaritam Amurta Seva Dharmaha. So this is a dharma of Murta and dharma of Amurta.
Right.
It's a nature of that dharma. Now I think he's just eliminating the this Bhashya eliminating a category as a dharma itself, and
Yes.
now it is just that neti applied. Both are not truth.
Yes.
So that way, it's a classic elimination by characterizing and eliminating. That is
Yes.
what happened, right, Binduji?
That's right. Murta means
Now,
Nilayanam. See, Nilayanam means Needam. Ashraya means we can have dependency only on solid matters or where transaction is possible. Intangible things where we cannot have a transaction possible. Like the matter, the entire world of transactions of dream is intangible. So we cannot have a ashraya or a dependency on the experiences of dream. For whatever reasons, we cannot depend upon that.
Okay. So I think but Telugu movies are different. They sell dreams. No, but this is just, I'm not joking this.
Right.
There is somebody selling dreams also, but this is not the subject matter here.
Yeah.
That the Murta Dravya, Amurta Dravya, that is that occupy, it's the same Brahman only. That is the bottom line here. So I think that's a common reconciliation. Cause is in the effect is taken, Dinuji. Now, same applied in that Vijnanam, right? The Vyavaharika Satya, Vyavaharika Mithya, both are, contrast. And Paramarthika Satya is the only truth. That is also nicely categorized. So this Brahma Satya, that Yasmat Satya, this one, that Murta Amurta Dharma Jatam, right? I just got one example is, if water is flowing, right? A river is flowing in a valley. Based on ups and downs, the swirls and, all that happens. It is just the conscious, the whole, the truth is like a dravya. Wherever it is, there are dips and dims, accordingly the river modified. It seems like modified, but it never modified. It's just that whatever memories are in the head, and the thought process runs, accordingly that thought takes shape. That's all happening here. Here also same, Murta, Amurta, based on that, it seems like that, right, Binduji?
Yeah, it's vritti. That is why I started out the class with the vritti vishaya. That vritti vishaya is what is making us feel the world is real. But the reality of the world is not on the names and forms or the experiences as it is. It is the existence present in them, which is the substratum of everything. There is there is nowhere you can say that, I can divide the existence here and that in the. That actually what you are dividing is the qualification. Suppose if I say between the table and the book, the existence of book is different from the existence of the table. I am segregating it because of the names of the table and the book. But if I have to look at the existence, where will I divide the existence? If you take out the name and form, or if you look at through the name and form, you will say that there is a intermediating space between the book and the table. So there, can you say there the existence is not there? That intermediating space is also is there. That is what we are saying. So the existence is indivisible. No way we can divide the existence. What we are dividing is the names and forms. And that names and forms are vritti jadam, like what you said, the river making the forms and everything. Our intellect is creating the existence separate for each one, but in reality, the existence can never be bifurcated or segregated. It is everywhere. There is nowhere existence is not there. Yet, due to this nature of the vritti vijnanam, vritti, because of the nature of our usage dependency on the name and the form, we seems to segregate existence of the book is there, I am there, and you are there. This separation of I and you and the book or the animal or the bird or everything, the space, the time, everything is being divided because we use the names and forms as the transactional requirement. But their dependency is on the existence which is indivisible and through every place. And that is everything. That is everything. That is actually Brahma. Brahma Brihatvad Brahma. So the existence is infinite and time is inside that, space is inside that, and time and space seems to be having existence. Because we use the term time and space, we divide that the existence of time is different from existence of space. All this is because we our dependency on the names and forms. That is why in the Chandogya Upanishad says, Vacharambanam vikaro namadeyam mrittigateva satyam. That statement is, that 9 examples which is there in the Chandogya is because we are depending upon the names and forms. Here also in this one, Acharya is very clearly saying that there is only one Satyam, Paramartha Satyam, Ekameva. But the Satyam which we are, and Anurtam what we are using, or the Nilayanam, Anilayanam, Niruktam, Aniruktam, Sat, Tyat, Vijnanam, Avijnanam, all of them are due to names and forms. Names and forms are mithya because they are not Satyam, Yadna Vyabhicharati. That changes, their name and form changes. The lump of mud became the pot. So the name and form of the lump of mud became the pot. The gold became the ornaments. The name and form is changing. So, but the gold has not changed. All those where we have see that you can say the name and form when it changes, we feel the object has changed. But actually speaking, the existence has not changed. The name and form is now depending upon the substratum of existence. And that is the reality. And the only thing which we have is existence. Name and forms are superimposition or superimposed on existence, and we call it as the world, including you and me. One who knows that existence as the reality, the substratum on which all these names and forms are being superimposed, he is called a Brahmavit.
Good, Vijay. I think this is very clear now. There's one statement made, Tadvatirekena abhavat namarupa vikarasya, that the whole, the sarvam avishishtam vikarajatam ekameva Sachabda Vacham Brahma Abhavat. That means this is Sarva Vikara Karana. We can say Brahma is like Sarva Vikarana Karana also.
Brahma is the Sarva Vikara Karana, but Brahma Sarvam Abhavat, Bahu Abhavat. It became many because of the name and form. But it then, even when it became many, tad anupravishya, that has entered that also. As what? As Brahman itself. It can never change its nature. If Venkat enters his house, he doesn't stop becoming Venkat. He will become a householder. Outside he may be an office person or a person who is working. So that doesn't change the Venkat's Swabhava or Swarupa. The Venkat who is an officer is now a householder in his house. So the same Prem, Sattvam, this thing, the Brahman, when having became the names and forms, appearing to have become the names and forms, never abandoned its existence as its nature. It remains as it is. Tat srishtva tadevana pravishat. What did he srishtva? Nama rupa jatam. Vikara. That nama rupa vikaram is the srishti. And tat srishtva tadevana pravishat means it enters that vikara jatam without abandoning his nature. Tadeva anupravishat. Tadeva means it alone entered everything. As it entered alone everything means it very clearly says that it has not changed its shape or form or qualification or anything of that nature. Right?
Venkatji, you're not unmiked here.
Your mic is still on mute.
I think this is clear, Binduji. I think I got it, Binduji. This is clear. Only one secretive embedding is that pranadi, that amurta dravya, taken as pranadi become amurta dravya. That was interesting because it is also tallying to, deep sleep, the prana is evident and it is amurta. It is not avakruta. So that's right. A good example. Yeah, that's a good example, Banerjee. I think that has a category. I think it is not expandable, but it's a secretive category. But it is not available to normals. So that is interesting among everything. Yeah, that's it, Banerjee. Thank you very much. I think your statement, I made a note, entered without abandoning its own nature.
Yes. Thank you, Venkat.
Thank you, Banerjee.
Srini?
Namaste, Vidlaji. Thank you for the beautiful session. I think I've been from the time you started that Vritti Rupena, I've been thinking something, and right now you just made that statement, Tateva Anupravishat, Tadeva Anupravishat. So now I think, so what I was thinking was, it did not do Pravesha as any vritti, right? When we say vritti rupena, only as a Brahmakara vritti, right? Not other vrittis. Yes. Correct, right?
All and true, it's only that, Brahmakara vritti only. But
so, like for example, it's some other vritti, it is not that Pravesha, the Upanishad will be.
No.
Yeah.
It's only Brahma. Tateva anupravishat. Tateva anupravishat means, which I told you, Venkat himself is the one who is entering his house and becoming the householder. But when he was outside, you don't call him as outsider, right?
Yeah, because just calling it Vritti Rupena is little bit ambiguous, right? Like calling it Brahmakara Vritti Rupena is more specific. That's what I was little bit confused.
Yeah, Vritti Rupena is for transactional purpose. That is why the word Vritti Rupena is used. But having not abandoned its own true nature, which is Satya Rupam, Satya Jnanam Ananda Rupam, without abandoning that, it becomes in the Vritti as Brahman itself. But when we do not see that Brahman in the Nama Rupa, we are carried away by the Nama Rupa. And that becomes the Jagat, that becomes the world. The world is the name and form, but that is depending upon existence of the world, and the existence is the nature of Brahman. The existence, that awareness, consciousness, and the infinity nature, it is there. That is why I said the division of existence is not possible. To show that, it cannot be bifurcated, it cannot be differentiated. If you are able to do differentiation or dividing it, then it is not Anandam. You cannot call it as Anandam. It is indivisible. That oneness, ekatvam, that is what is more important.
Yes, it's so breathtaking. Like from the buttermilk of that statement, Tat Sushtva Tadeva Anupravishatu, by extracting the Brahmakara Vritti, it's really like churning the buttermilk and extracting the butter. That kind of literal feeling, like, really mind blowing with it. Thank you.
Exactly. It's really mind blowing. Thank you, Srini. Shobha?
Hari Om Modaya.
Hari
Namaste
Om.
everyone. So Modaya, if you want me to listen to it and then ask you in next class, that's fine. But these last few sentences are so nice. Starting from, well, all of it, I guess. But Atma akamayata bahusyam iti. Tataha arabhya. So I was just, you don't have to answer it now, but I was just wondering why vidhiling there, Sam, not bhavami, bhavishyami, iti. But then, yatha kamam cha akashadi karyam sat tyat adi lakshanam srishtva. That is where, that's why I said I can listen to it and ask you again. If you would not mind saying akashadi karyam, but then sat tyat adi lakshanam srishtva. That can you say that sat tyat again, Modaya?
See, Sat and Tyat are Murta. So all those Lakshana have become in the name and form. It's only Murta and Amurta forms are available in the name and form. So, having become the names and forms, Akashadi means Akashadi Karanam. Akashadehe Karanam is Akashadi Karanam. So, it is the effect, the cause for Akasha, etc. is what is that Brahman. That is what is now is appearing to be or is now having taken the name and form becomes the Murta and Amurta, the matter and the non-matter, etc. So Murta Amurta Lakshanam means it's only not Murta Amurta. You have to say Satyat, 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 Tyachabhavat, Niruktam Cha, Niruktam, Nilayanam, Anilayanam, Vitnyanam, Avitnyanam, Satyam, Janaratam. All is Lakshanam only, Lakshanani. These are all Lakshana Vakyas, means adjectives for the names and forms.
Okay. Tyat also means Tejati iti, Nisangatvam. Does that have anything to, because it is Sat and then...
This is Arsha Prayoga, Sat and Tyat. So Sat means Murtam, Tyat means Amurtam. That's all.
It should be only taken that way.
Only taken that way. It is not Tyaj. Tyat.
It came from
Akara.
Tyaj, so I was asking.
No. It didn't come from
Tyaj. But here it is Amurta only.
Right.
Okay. And it's interesting that Akashadi Karyam Krutva Sat Tyadyati Lakshanam Srishtva Tad Anupravishya. Then, interesting that, Pashyan Shunvan Manvanaha Vijanan Brahma Bahu Abhavat. So, that is, those words are used there was very interesting.
Right.
Pashyan Shunvan.
Yes.
So can you just talk about it just a little bit? Pashyan Shunvan Manvanaha Vijanan Bahu Abhavat.
Right. So, if you look at it, this only Pashyan Shunvan Manvan Vijanan is to indicate the Panchakosha where the transactions are happening in our body. Pashyan is at the gross level. Annamaya Kosha. Pashyan and Shrunvan. Right?
Yes.
Shrunvan is mostly toward the Pranamaya because of the sound waves.
Yes.
Manvan is the Manomaya Kosha.
Yes.
Vijanan is Vijnanamaya Kosha. Right?
Yes.
So at each level, he is categorizing not only for one individual, for all the experiences that it becomes the reason. all bodily experiences or the physical sense organ spaces, then the subtle sense organ spaces were internal and external by the pranas, then the mental modifications and then intellectual modifications, all of them are included in that word.
All of that is covered by saying this.
Yes.
Very nice, Mahodaya. Thank you. Then tasmat tat eva idam akashadi karanam.
Tat eva.
Tat eva idam akashadi karanam karyastham iti. Astu. So tat eva. Parame vyuman hridaya guhayam nihitam. Astu. Astu. So for that Sam, I won't ask you anymore unless you want to. Bahusyam iti.
Bahusyam. That is again a Chandasa Prayoga. That is why you don't get a Bhavishyat Prayoga there.
Okay. Astu. All right. Thank you, Mahodaya. Dhanyavadaha.
So Prakash, can we close it? Friday we'll continue. We'll go to the 7th section on Friday. 7th Anuvaga. So those who want to prepare and come, please do that. It's very interesting section. Equally mind-blowing like what Srini says. It's a mind-bending next one also, 7th one. Where we will be discussing about both Ananda as well as Abhayam. These two things, the bliss and fearlessness. These are the two things which we will be discussing in the next one. But how do we arrive at it? Rasava Vaisaha is coming there. So, how the Ananda is being then. Abhayam. Itaramantaram Gurude Atatasya Bhayam Bhavati. That is where the Bhayam, Abhayam is being explained. So all these things are being covered in the 7th one. It's a very interesting chapter, subsection. Yes, Revati.
Namaste, Binduji.
Namaste.
From the last class also, it's the Upanishad is doing, as you said, knowing all the koshas to, I have to removing my ajnana where I am stuck, but not to go behind them. And the same time doing the neti, and again including means everything, the substratum of everything is Brahman. It's saying in Guha, entering Guha, I have to understand there everything, all vritti rupena, Brahma vritti rupena, but becoming all the vritti. So I have to understand there everything is Brahma. The ananyatvat is there. So is that so, Binduji?
Yes, but you have to understand that what is coming as vritti rupa in the guha, as experiences, it is in the guha means the buddha, in the mind, or in the intellect, or the antakarana. All experiences are at the antakarana level, even though the causes for the experiences may be through the sense organs external to the Annamaya Kosha. And the Nama Rupa, which is coming from the world. Suppose if I am saying that I am experiencing sweet of a fruit or a mango, the experience of sweet is internal to me. That is Manomaya and the Guhayam Vritti Rupena. It is coming in the form of Vritti Rupa. But what is it coming from? It is not the sweetness. It is the easiness of that. It starts from that. That is nothing but Brahman. And now that Brahman is, now I am calling it as mango because of the name and form. That Brahman, which is in the name or form of Brahman, is now becoming a fruit for me. So I call that easiness of the mango is now transferred to the fruit, is the fruit. And when I am consuming, the consumption is of the fruit. And when the easiness is transferred from the fruit into my taste bud, the section of that easiness is now what is becoming the taste is. The easiness of the taste is now sweet. Therefore, I say the sweet is. All then that becomes the vritti rupa in the mind, and that becomes the experience is of sweet. So the what all through which got transferred from the external one to the internal one is the easiness of everything. But I call it as by vritti rupa as mango, fruit, taste, sweet. These are all names and forms. But what has been transferring and what has been conveying as the sweet, even the sweet is easiness. The sweet is not nothing but the existence of Brahman. That is how we have to, every experience becomes a vritti rupa in the mind. And that vritti rupa is depending upon the easiness with which the vritti is being now qualified, Visheshana. That may be Maduram, Triptam, Amlam, or whatever may be the sweet, taste, sour, taste, or is there, is not there. Even the absence of is in depending upon the easiness of the positive thing, Pradiyogi, what we call it as. So the nihilism or the absent, only place where we cannot have the easiness is on non-existential things like a barren woman's child, or a flower of the sky, or the horn of the horse, or a hair. We can never have an experience of that because they are non-existent. And that is why everything what is existent and being experienced is then reason why we have the Brahmanubhuti or Akantakara Vritti or Brahmanubhava. All those things is Atmanubhava. Because we are also not different from that. I am. My existence, I am, is also depending upon that easiness or the existence of my own this thing. The adjectives on me, like man, Indian, male, aged, young, all those things are adjectives in the Vritti Rupa. But they are also depending upon my body, which is. That's why the Jagat is there as Brahma Rupa. But other than that, if you think it is a Nama Rupa, then it is called Mithya. So Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya, because Jagat becomes Mithya only if it is Nama Rupa. The dependency of the Nama Rupa is existence, then Brahma Satyam, Jagat Satyam. Jagat also becomes Satyam if you say that Jagat Asti, the world is there. So the easiness of the world is nothing but easiness of that from which the world is appearing as name and form. So the Vritti Rupa is to be understood in that way.
Yes, Binduji. As you were telling, the rope is the reason for the snake. Like
right.
that, no?
All the three times, the reality is that it was only the rope. The rope is there, the rope was there, the rope will be there. Never the snake was real.
Yes.
So the snake is a mithya. Same way, Revati, the name and form, is not real. But the name Revati is real, the form of Revati is real, but that reality depends upon the easiness of it. When I say Revati is there, right?
Yes.
The easiness is depending upon the existence of something, which I call it as that or she, whatever may be that sarvanama which I am using. It is depending upon that. So tat srishtva, that having created, tat eva, that alone, anupravishya, entered without changing itself into many things or without changing its own true nature. That is why tadeva anupravishyati, you have to be very clearly understood.
Yes. Yes, Binduji, clear. Thank you for these all sessions, Binduji. It's very, very beautiful and remove all the obstacles, Binduji. Thank you.
Thank you, Revati. Prakash, can we close?
Yes, I'll just make a quick announcement. So our next session will be the 30th on Friday, same time. As I've mentioned earlier, for those who are new, the recordings are available as replays in Clubhouse, or you can go to the chat and look for that YouTube channel. It's called Advaita Retold, and you can access all the talks, including the earlier ones which are not of Taittareeya Upanishad. So again, a big thank you to Bindoji, pranams, and see you all on, and make sure that you do the Sravana Manana. Listen to the replay before you come, because that will deepen the next session in terms of the Abhaya aspect with Ananda. So again, thanks for everyone for coming, and thank you, Bindoji. Over to you to close the session.
Thank you, Prakash. Thank you, Venkat, Srini, Shobha, Revati, and thank you all for attending the class. See you all on Friday, where we will discuss on bliss and freedom from fear, fearlessness. That will be the subject. Interesting subject. Please do come. Thank you all. Hari Om. Good night.
Hari Om. Good night.